In this video, we're going to fire up the Samsung Galaxy Note 8.0 for the very first time. So let's get to it. Now, as per usual, when I get a new product, I'm going to make a whole bunch of videos on that product. So if you're interested in the Samsung Galaxy Note 8.0, click on the link at the end of this video, and it will take you to a playlist where you'll find a whole host of videos on this device. Now, for those of you who've been following my channel, you'll know that I haven't posted any videos in about 6 weeks. That's because I've been really busy. But don't worry, I haven't forgotten about the Living in Linux series. In fact, to give you a sneak peek, this is the Ubuntu phone right here. That's not the right time. That's the Greenwich Mean Time, I believe. But anyway, I haven't forgotten about the Living in Linux series. Those will be posted hopefully this week. And also, I haven't forgotten about the series of videos where I show you how to make your own DVR. I literally have about 45 videos filmed, but not yet edited and posted. So I want to thank you guys for your patience, and I'm going to get those out as soon as possible. So before we fire this tablet up, I just want to give you a couple of size comparisons with other tablets on the market. Over here is the Nexus 7. Here's the 3rd generation iPad, and here's the Microsoft Surface. Now, when I did the unboxing on this device and the book cover, I said that this was a proximity sensor up here. In actuality, it's an ambient light sensor, so it will dim the screen when you're in dimmer light. That way it's not going to shock your eyes looking at a very bright screen in dim lighting. Also, before I put the cover on, I thought that these were covers for buttons because I have encountered covers before where you can actually press through the cover and hit a button. For instance, the Nexus 4 is like that. But these are just little feet on here for when you have the cover in its magnetized state behind. It will have little feet here that contact the table. Now, when you have the cover on, it has cutouts for everything. The IR blaster, the volume rocker, the power button, your mic there, the S Pen down here, the speakers, stereo speakers down here, and your charging port down here. The only port that the cover obscures is the micro SD card slot back here. So you just have to take the tablet out of the cover if you want to change or mess with the micro SD card. Now, I was also asked in the comments section of my previous video if the bulge on the camera here, which you can't really see that well because it doesn't really bulge out when you have the case on there, but if that makes the tablet rock when you actually put it down on a flat surface. I haven't tried it out, so I thought I'd try it out on camera here. So I pulled the tablet out of the case, and I just realized that there's some plastic here that I never took off. So let's see if I got all of that. Okay, I think I got all of that off. So let's put this down very carefully on the table here, and let's see if it rocks. Little bit, but not that bad. Absolutely not a deal breaker for me, but if that's a problem for you, the camera does stick out ever so slightly there. But when it's in its case, there's hardly any motion at all because the case actually makes up for a lot of that bumped out camera area. Anyway, let's get to powering up this device for the very first time. Now, I've powered up quite a few Android devices on this channel in the past. Most of those devices were stock Android. This will be the first time I power up a TouchWiz device on my channel here. Now, if you're familiar with Samsung products, you've probably dealt with this before, but I'm going to walk you through it, and you can tell me if it's par for the course or if there's something different going on here. I'm sure there's going to be some sort of tutorial with the pen. So let me just reach over here to the power button, hold it down, and fire this thing up. Samsung Galaxy Note 8.0 GT-N5110. very cool animation sequence to open this thing up. And here we go. Samsung Galaxy. Welcome. Select language. Obviously, I'm speaking English. Down here it says if you are visually impaired or hard of hearing, tap accessibility below to change the accessibility settings. I don't need to do that, but it's good to know that it's there for those of you who might need it or know somebody who might need it. Okay, I had to edit a step out there because it asked for my home wireless network. So I signed into my home wireless network, and the next step here is date and time. So it has the date wrong and the time wrong. So let me set that. And this is what it looks like, the interface for that. And set the time, or actually the date, I'm sorry. There we go, it's the 13th. And time zone, I'm on the East Coast in the United States, so there we go. And let's see what we got here. Samsung account. Create a Samsung account and you can enjoy a variety of services with a single account, back up your personal data securely, and find your device easily if you lose it. I don't have a Samsung account. I have a Samsung monitor, I have a Samsung Blu-ray player, but I don't have any Samsung devices that would require an account beyond that. So let me create a new account here. And here we go. Country or region. Select the country, United States, terms and conditions. I accept this, of course, otherwise I can't use the device, and agree to all that stuff. Now it wants me to enter in, okay, you can sign in using your Facebook info, which I will not do. The other option is to fill out these fields here, which is what I'm going to do. So let me do that, and I'll join up with you on the other side of that. Okay, the next step is backup and restore. It says use your Samsung account to back up your wallpapers. If you previously backed up your account, you can restore it to this device now. You can change your backup settings at any time. Now, as I said, I've never had a Samsung device that needed a Samsung account before, and I haven't put in the Google account that I use for all my Android devices, so this is purely based on the Samsung ID. So there's no reason to restore because there's nothing to restore. I will use the auto backup function, which is checked by default. If you would restore or you have a need to restore, you could click that there, but as I said, I don't, so I'm just going to hit next down here. It says, warning, you have not selected restore. If you proceed to back up without completing restoration, any data missing from device will be deleted on server. That's fine. Again, it's not pertinent to me. Now, this might look familiar to those of you who've had a brand new Android device before. This is the stock sign-in for Android. So it says, got Google? You have a Google account? Question mark. If you use Gmail, answer yes. Of course I do. And then it wants me to sign in. So I'm going to sign in using the Gmail account that I normally use for all my Android devices. I will join you on the other side of that. All right, I have an option to back up and restore again. Uh-oh, something's going on here. That was weird. All right, it goes back to got Google. So, okay, I'm going to hit yes. And it wants me to sign in again with my password. I don't really know what happened there. It kind of just cycled back. But I'm going to have to enter in my email and my password again. Now, before I do that, I just want to show you the keyboard here. Now, if you're familiar with my channel at all, you know that I always gripe about tablets on-screen keyboards. The main gripe being that there's no number keys. But as you can see here, on this device, there's a full row of numbers above the letters. And that's actually very cool. I've only seen that on the HP touchpad before. So it's a nice addition to this device here. So I'm going to enter in my email address and my password yet again. Hopefully this is the last time I'll have to do this tonight, and I'll join you on the other side of that. Okay, this time it worked. and I'm brought to the backup and restore in Android. So this is something I'm very familiar with. This syncs all your Android apps with your Google account, and I always do the backup and restore. That way you have all your apps across all of your Android devices. And right now I have 3. This will be my 3rd Android device that I have currently, even though I'm probably going to be selling the Nexus 7. So it says here, use your Google account to back up your apps settings, such as bookmarks and Wi-Fi passwords and other data. If you previously backed up your account, you can restore it to this tablet now. You can change your backup settings anytime in Settings. So it has, by default, it has Restore from my Google account to this tablet checked, and then keep this tablet backed up with my Google account. Sounds good to me. I'm going to hit the arrow over here, and it's going to restore all the apps and everything I have on my other tablets and devices onto here. Now it says Google and location. Use Wi-Fi location. Let apps estimate your location with Google's location service. Anonymous location data will be collected and sent to Google and may be stored on your device. This could occur even when no apps are running. That's by default checked. Sounds fine to me. The next selection here says, let Google Apps access your location. Get more relevant information when using Google Apps. GPS and Google Location Service may be accessed even when you're not using Google Apps. Sounds fine to me. As it says here, you can always change that in your settings if you don't like it. So I'm going to go to the next stop here, and it says Dropbox. Get a free 50 gigabyte Dropbox account for 2 years. Dropbox can automatically save your photos and videos to your computers and the web. I don't really use a lot of online storage. When I have, I've used box.net. But I'm not going to turn down 50 gigabytes of free online storage from Dropbox, so I'll create a new account with Dropbox. So I'm going to fill this out, and I'll join you on the other side of that. All right, it says, welcome to Dropbox. Save your photos to Dropbox. Your photos and videos can be automatically uploaded to Dropbox. You can either skip this or turn it on. I might as well turn it on. Give it a try. All right, it says Samsung device wants to access your Dropbox. Of course, I'm going to allow that. And here we go. Samsung Galaxy. Device is set up and ready to use. Optional setting. Easy mode helps you use your device more easily with the Easy Widgets feature and the ability to customize the font size. Tap the Easy Mode checkbox to enable. It's a lot of easies in that little amount of text there. So I'm going to might as well enable Easy Mode setup and hit Next. Easy Mode. Easy Widgets are automatically added to your home screen. You have favorite apps, favorite contacts, favorite settings, and picture frame. Tap Next to enable Easy Mode. I might as well. I've been with Android since the very beginning. I got the G1 on day 1. So I know my way around Android. So I might as well enable this Easy Mode, especially for demonstration purposes here on my channel. So I'm going to hit Next here. And Easy Mode, customize font size for messaging, email, contacts, etc. So you have tiny, small, normal, large, and huge. I'm just going to leave it on normal. I can always change that at a later date. I'm going to hit Finish here. And here we go. There's a tip on screen here. It says flick the screen left or right to move to other screens. So on Android you have several home screens. You probably know that already. It looks like this one has 5. So I'm just going to hit OK here. And this is what the Galaxy Note 8.0 looks like. Now there was just a little notification up here that said that it couldn't see my eyes. Now there's a little feature on Samsung devices where it actually initiates the camera and it can tell if you're looking at it. Now I know on the Galaxy S4 it says Smart Stay cannot see your eyes. So on the Samsung Galaxy S4 you can actually pause video by looking away from it and whatnot. I don't know if that's included on this device, but I do know that the screen will dim if the device sees that you're not looking at it. And that's what that's all about, and that's why it dims from time to time. There it is again. Smart Stay cannot see your eyes. So that's actually very cool. A cool feature. I actually like it. So you have a widget up here. It gives you the time, date, temperature, your location, all that good stuff. You have a picture frame here. You have on the dock down here, you have contacts, internet, settings, and apps. And you have 5 home screens, so let's swipe over to this one. There's nothing on this home screen. The default wallpaper, which is actually pretty cool, it's a quill writing, and that's indicative of what this device is all about. You have the S Pen where you can write on it. If you want to add anything to here, as it says here, tap and hold the screen to add items. And here's the 5th home screen on the far left. As I swipe over, we have favorite settings. Now that is the other home screen on the far right. So on a typical Android device, when you reach the far end of your home screens, it stops and you have to go into the other direction. But it looks like this one loops. So we have favorite settings here, notifications, wallpapers, volume, battery life, which I haven't charged this at all, which shows that has quite a bit of juice left in it. Data usage, font size, brightness, accounts, settings, home screen, sensitivity, and task manager. Let's see what's on the next one. Favorite apps, camera. There's 2 cameras on this. I'll do videos in the future on that. We have a gallery option here, S Planner, alarm, calculator, S Note, email, internet, music player, help, add app, and add app. If we go to the next home screen, that'll take us to the main home screen. Let's go back down here to the app drawer and see what's in here. We get another tip on the screen here. It says tip. Tap and hold an application to move it to the home screen. Then you can drag it into place. And of course I don't need to see that again, but if you're familiar with Android, all you have to do is long press and then you can put it on your home screen and take it out of your app drawer. Well, you don't take it out of your app drawer, but you make a shortcut to it on your home screen. So these are, let's see if this all looks familiar here. Actually, I don't notice any of my characteristic apps of my own. These are all just apps that came with the device. But you can swipe through them here. You have 2. There's always a representation on the bottom, if you're not familiar with Android, of how many screens you have. This is the far right one, as you can see by the representation down here, and that's the far left one. Now, on a normal Android device, you'd swipe over, and when you reach the end, you'd go to the next selection, but this just cycles through the apps. Up here, you have to select widgets if you want to go into the widgets, and we get another tip here. It says tap and hold a widget. It will move to the home screen, and you can drag it into place, just like an app. So I'm going to hit OK there, and these are the widgets that are included on the device. Now, as you can see, there's quite a few pages of widgets here. And I will be customizing this tablet as time goes on. Again, this is just taking a look at it for the very first time. So I'm going to hit the home button here. And that should bring you back to your home screen, but as you can see here, I have another tip. It says, access your notifications by pulling down the notifications panel from the top. And I'll hit OK there. So just pull down the shade here. As you're probably familiar, this is your notification area. Now the thing that's different on this device is that you have shortcuts to controls up here. You can control your Wi-Fi, turn it on or off, same with GPS. You have a reading mode, which I assume would dim the LCD. Let me toggle that on and off. Reading mode. Reading mode has been enabled. The screen is now optimized for reading. This mode is only available in selected applications. Okay, so it won't be on the home screen here. And it is enabled. You have, let's see, sound here. You can mute it from here. You can do the screen lock. Then you have a Bluetooth option here, power saving mode, blocking mode, sync, and multi-window. Then you also have your brightness control here. It's on auto. And then you have your notifications down here. Now, with any modern Android device, as you see, I just got a new notification there telling me again that it doesn't see my eyes. As with any Android device with the notifications, you can dismiss them by swiping them to the side, or at least the newer versions of Android have that. I'm not going to do that because all of these are pretty pertinent notifications. First one is Samsung Push Service, new version available, install now. Well, yeah, I will want to install that, but the second one here is software update. Set up software update. So let's just wait for that notification to leave. Let me click on that because I want to set that up because it's really important, especially if one is going to be coming through soon. So I'm in the United States, and the terms and conditions, I'm not even going to read them as usual because if you don't accept them, you can't use it. So I'm going to hit confirm here, and I get another tip here. Tap to see all your applications. We already went through that. And let's see what else here. So the software update is downloading, and it's connecting to the server. Firmware downloaded. Okay, I got another tip here, and it says press and hold the back key to show or hide the multi-window tray. You can use two applications at the same time using the multi-window feature. So I really haven't opened any apps yet on here, but let's just see if it works. Getting another thing here. It says notifications to use a different pen. Go to settings, S Pen, battery saving, and disable battery saving. Okay, I don't really know why that's giving me this because I haven't brought the pen out yet, but it brings me to my settings, and I do want to go in here anyway because I wanted to check the version of Android that's running on this device. But let's go through this first. It says S Pen, so let's see. Nothing is selected here. You have a pen attach and detach sound. You have open pop-up note. Open pop-up note when the pen is detached. Okay, so actually let me pull that out now and see what happens. Okay, it says S Pen has been detached. Battery saving, disable pen detection when the pen is attached. Can't extend battery life. Next selection here is Air View. Air View, hold the pen nib near the screen to see more information. So if I hold the pen, you can see on the screen there, hopefully, right under the pen is a little, I don't know if you can see it, but it's a little dot on the screen. So the pen is communicating with the device even though it's not touching, so you can actually hover over things. So sound and haptic feedback, click that, and might as well click on the battery saving up here as well. I think it might have been already clicked, and I think I might have unclicked it, I'm not sure. Pen gestures, quick command settings. Create pen gestures to open selected applications or perform tasks. So you can actually write on the screen with the pen with a certain symbol, and it'll give you a shortcut to an app. And I didn't want to do that, so let's go back up. And then down on the bottom you have S Pen Help. So I'm not quite sure why this brought me here, other than maybe showing me around the device a little bit. Okay, I just clicked on About Device and I checked this is running Android 4.1.2. So let me just hit the home screen again, or the home button, and let me hit OK down here, and I'm going to do what it told me to do, which is hold down the back button to bring up the multitasking. So it says tap the application or drag it into the main window to open it. Hit OK. So, I don't know, well, that's interesting. You have Internet and Chrome. You'd think they're the same thing, but apparently they're not. So let's do YouTube, and let's do Chrome at the same time, because this is a use case I would probably do. I would maybe have a YouTube video playing, and then at the same time look at a website. So very cool. And again, one of the reasons, you're actually looking at both of the reasons why I bought this, the pen and the multi-window. Now they have this multi-window on the Samsung Galaxy S phones, but those screens, I mean, some of them are fairly large. They're nearly 5 inches, just short of 5 inches. And they're, decent sized phones, but it's much better on an 8-inch device like this, or maybe even a larger device. So that's actually really cool, and it looks like you can resize these windows however you want. There's no restriction. And then if you want another app, you just swipe over the tray over here, and you can bring in another app, but it only will run 2 apps at the same time, I believe. So let's see what happens when we bring in the world clock. You can either replace one of those apps with that. So there you go. And then apparently you can dismiss these. Let's see. You can dismiss them like that. So now that I've activated the S Pen here, you'll notice that there are 6 home screens, the 6th one pertaining to the S Pen here. And it says discover your inner creativity. You have create note here, and then you have list here. So you have some options here. We are in, what are we in right now? Okay, we're in create note. You can create a note, note idea, meeting note, magazine, diary, recipe, travel, memo, landscape, and birthday. And then what do we have here for a list? Meeting notes 2, meeting notes 3, economics, recipe, travel, diary, recipe, travel. So let's just go here and create a quick note here. Again, this is just me using this for the first time, and if there's anything remarkable about anything, I will report it at a later date. But you get here something that looks like a notepad. You have a subject up here, so I'm assuming you could write whatever you want here. So let me just do tablet. Let's see what happens there. Very awkward for me to write in this position because the tripod is where I should be. So I'm kind of off to the left here. Now there's a lot to learn about this. There's actually a button on the pen here. There's a lot of options up here. I'm not going to walk through that right now. This is just basically an overview of this device here. So let's back out of that. And as you notice, every time I hit one of these buttons down here, they light up. And it keeps giving me this notification. I don't want to see it again. There we go. And let me put this, let me first of all see what we have on notifications here. Firmware downloaded. Let me click on that. Let me just install this now. Okay. I'm just going to install the software update, and we'll pick up the rest of the pieces on this when that's completed. So the device rebooted and the firmware was successfully updated. I did check, and the Android version is still Android 4.1.2. So that firmware update must have been on the Samsung end of things. So let me hit the power button here, and we'll take a look at the lock screen. I really like the look of the quill. And it says down here, swipe screen to unlock. So swipe it, you get a little water effect, which is actually pretty cool. And that is that. So that's powering up the Samsung Galaxy Note 8.0 for the very first time. And that's going to do it for this video. So as always, if you have any questions or comments, please post them down below. If you like what you see, please subscribe. And if you want to help out my channel, give me a thumbs up or favorite this video. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.